Hello, hello again. Good evening, everybody. We're about ready to get started with our forum. I just have a couple words of welcome and some housekeeping for everybody. Thank you all for being here. Once again, welcome. It's a beautiful day. You could be outside in the park. You could be cruising down the avenue. You're here to learn about the candidates who are seeking to represent all of us in Trenton, so thank you all for being here. My name is Shane Smith. I'm the Chief of Staff for the Jersey City Free Public Library. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you here tonight. Once again, feel free if you need to get up and use the restroom or go get some refreshments, please feel free, but just keep in mind that we're all trying to listen. So, just be courteous in that sense. And if you haven't already turned off your cell phone, please do that now. One other thing, thank you to those of you who submitted questions either on the form or here on the index cards. Just so you know, that's all closed up now. Our moderators are ready with their questions, so we're not going to be able to add any at this time. One other thing I want to mention right at the start, we invited all of the candidates who qualified for the ballot, whether it was the Democratic ballot or the Republican ballot for the primary election. And so we put that invitation out to everyone, and the candidates who are here tonight are the four candidates you see before you. I'll just quickly say their names so everyone knows who you are. You'll all have an opportunity to introduce yourselves. I just want to make sure everybody knows who you are. We have Commissioner Jerry Walker here. We also have Assemblywoman Barbara McCann Stamato, Assemblyman William Sampson, and Councilwoman Jacqueline Weimmer. So we'll have a chance to welcome them all in a moment. I just want you all to know who they are. Why is the library hosting this forum? I just want to say a couple words about why the library is very proud to be hosting this forum. Here at the library, we believe that literacy is the foundation of democracy. And yes, I am talking about reading. I'm also talking about civic literacy. I'm talking about information literacy, digital literacy, financial literacy. These are all the things that the library is committed to providing as a resource to this community. These are also the skills that we all need collectively in order to participate in a healthy democracy. And it's the skills that our community and our democracy needs from us in order to be healthy. So that's why we're here. The library, that's why we're here at the library. That's part of the library's commitment to community well-being and civic engagement. So thank you all. I also want to say, if you'd like to support the library, we'd love to have your support. There are ways you can do that. You can get a library card. You can do that here at the library. You can also do that on our website. While you're on the website, you can also sign up for the email newsletter, so you can find out about great events just like this one. You can check us out on social media. There's also another place where we put these events up. So, and if you're feeling inclined, you may also, and you're able, you may also give us a financial donation. We'd be very happy to have that as well. So, the most important thing I need to say tonight, though, is thank you. Thank you, first of all, to all of you for being here, for participating, for engaging, for being open and ready to learn. I also want to say a big thank you to the other folks who put this whole forum together. So the library obviously is involved, but also we had some excellent partners who are co-hosting and collaborating with us tonight. We have I Love Greenville, which is a community organization right here. So thank you very much to I Love Greenville. Thank you to Tiffany McQuarrie, Allie Robinson, and all the folks at I Love Greenville who helped us get the word out about this event and put this event together. Thank you very much as well to Safe Streets JC, who is another co-host of this event. Thank you, Talia Schwartz. Thank you to Sam, and thank you to Tyler and Colin and all the great folks from Safe Streets who are here. Tyler, in particular, is the tech whiz who's making all that stuff in the back happen and making sure that we have great recording and great sound. And we're also streaming this to Safe Streets social media and so on, so more and more people can hear about what's going on here. So thank you to all of you. Also, thank you to the Cunningham Branch Library, to the amazing, amazing staff here. If you haven't been here, please come back. They do really wonderful programming here. Everyone here is just like the best person in the world. Don't tell any of the other branches I said that, but it's true. And to the manager, Ronnie Lee Chapman, as well as to the amazing maintenance guy, Pedro Morales, who helped set this place up, and all the amazing staff who work here, and to Ms. Barbara, who loaned me the Scotch tape. Also, I want to say thanks again to the Garden State New Play Festival for kicking us off. Thank you again for that amazing performance, and hopefully we'll start some conversations. Yes, it was, and start some conversations about what's going on here in our community. So thank you. And a couple more thank yous, and then I'll be out of your way. I want to say thank you to the candidates. Thank you for, first of all, for being here. Thank you for putting yourselves out there. Thank you for running in a contested primary. That is not an easy thing to do, so we appreciate you. And thank you very much for having the courage and the spirit to come here and share with the people who you're seeking to represent so we can hear what you're all about. Thank you. And thank you very much to our moderators. I want to say thank you to Ms. Jillian Sargent Allen, who is the secretary of the Jersey City Free Public Library Foundation, among other amazing achievements, as well as Mr. Lewis Spears, who is the director of the Lee Hagen Africana Studies Department. We're at NJCU, right there down the street. Thank you to both of them. Thank you once again to all of you. With those words of gratitude, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Sargent Allen.
Thank you, Shane. Good evening, everyone. Oh, nice, beautiful. My name is Jillian Sargent Allen, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the New Jersey District 31 Assembly Candidate Forum. And it's my pleasure to be your co-moderator tonight.
My name is Lewis Spears. I'm also a co-moderator for this important conversation. Thank you all for joining us. Whether you are online or in person, we really appreciate the fact that you took the time out to be here with us as we, have an awesome forum for our candidates.
The goal of tonight's forum is to provide voters with a fair and informative opportunity to hear where the candidates stand on issues that directly impact our community. This forum is nonpartisan and educational. We're here to foster civic engagement, not debate, and our job as moderators is to ensure a respectful, balanced conversation, and we appreciate you helping us in upholding this spirit.
And so let's just be clear, right? Let's go over the roles of a New Jersey General Assembly person. So let's say, for instance, your street light goes out. They're not the person to call. Right? Just want to put that out there. Let's say your garbage isn't picked up. They're not the person that you call, right? Just so that we're clear. No mailboxes, right? Nothing with mailboxes. Nothing with you don't like the curriculum that your children have in school. They have nothing to do with that, right? But what they are responsible for is that they are a legislative branch of state government and works in partnership with the governor to create laws and set the state budget, right? Assembly members serve 2-year terms and are responsible for introducing and voting on legislation. They determine levels of state spending, raising or lowering taxes, right? That's something you can talk to them about, right? And voting to uphold or override vetoes by the governor. They also play a key role in representing the interests of the residents in this district, 31st District, and addressing critical issues such as education, transportation, public safety, housing, and the economy. Right now, we have 2 representatives who are currently sitting. Assemblyman William Sampson, please raise your hand, and Assemblywoman Barbara McCann Stamato, please raise your hand. And just to give you another context, so there are 80 assembly people in this state, 2 per district. We have 1 senator per district as well. The assembly persons are on the lower court, right? And the senators are in the upper courts. And essentially, they work to balance each other in that way. Everyone has their particular things that they're responsible for, all right?
So I know everyone is excited to hear from the candidates, their positions, and how they plan to support us in this district. And so just to give you an idea of how the evening will go, each of the candidates will be posed a question, the same question, and they will have each 1 minute to answer. And then there will be a lightning round of questions that we get in from either online or that have been posed since folks have arrived, and then they will have closing remarks. We do have a timekeeper, and so we're going to make sure that everybody stays on time. We have Allison Robinson in the pink over here, who's going to give folks the 10-minute warning. I'm sorry, 10 seconds. Sheesh. 10-second warning. Okay? I think it's, yeah.
Oh, and we will strictly enforce the time, right? Responses are timed 1 minute each. No interruptions are allowed between candidates and audience members. Please hold applause or reactions until, let me say this one more time. Audience members, please hold applause or reactions till after the candidate is done. Please.
So that said, I'm going to introduce the candidates again with their full titles, if that's okay. So we're starting with New Jersey Legislative District 31, Assemblywoman Barbara McCann Stamato. Yep. We have Legislative District 31, Assemblyman William Sampson. Hudson County Commissioner Jerry Walker. And Bayonne 2nd Ward Councilwoman Jackie Weimmer.
Okay, so we're going to begin opening statements. Each candidate will have 1 minute to introduce themselves and share their vision for representing District 31. We'll start with you, Ms. Weimmer.
Gracious. All right. Are we on?
Sure.
Are we on? Oh,
Yeah.
we are on. I'm sorry. I apologize. All right. What I would like everyone to know most about me is I am a councilwoman in Bayonne. I was born and raised there. I am just as you are. I am someone who walks the same streets as you do, who sees the same struggles and have gone through a very similar life. I work every day to fight to make our life better, to make it more affordable, to make it more enjoyable. My intent is to fight for those and to continue to fight for those who fought for us, our civil servants, our veterans, our teachers, our parents, right? Just as Mrs. Davies, Tiffany outlined in that play, right? My father said the exact same thing, don't sell the house, Jackie. And I've only just sold it. But nevertheless, I am who you are, and I fight to make the life better for all of us.
Thank you. Assemblyman. Yes.
Good evening. I am Assemblyman Will Sampson. I am a father. I'm a son. I come from two individuals that have been married for 43 years, that have instilled me to be a God-fearing man. I didn't understand when I was a young man why I had to go to church, but my mother made sure that I was in church. I'm a God-fearing man. I am a longshoreman by trade. And I'm not a longshoreman that sits behind a desk. I'm a longshoreman that works, that resonates with everyday people. I know what it feels like to be check to check. I know what it feels like to work in the cold. I know what it feels like to be tired and go back to that same job. As a legislator, I resonate with you to make your lives better. That is my sole purpose and my only purpose why I am a legislator today, to improve the lives of the people that I represent. That's who I answer to. And I just want to thank you all for the 2 years, and I'm going on my 4 years and going for a third term. It's been the honor of my life to serve you. It's been the honor of my family's life to see me in that light. And I just thank God every day for choosing me on this path to bring forth legislation that will impact our community, that will help us in everyday lives and make New Jersey more affordable. That's what I'm doing it for, because New Jersey is too expensive. We got a 35.8% housing increase, more than the national average.
Okay, that's time. Thank you.
All right, I'm sorry, y'all.
Thank you. You brought up housing, and we have a question for that, so you'll get a chance to restate where you were going.
No, I want to abide by the rules, but I do apologize.
No, it's all good.
got you. All right.
Assemblywoman.
Hi, good evening. First of all, I'd just like to thank the moderators for putting this together, and for all of you for being here. I am Barbara McCann Stamato. I am a lifelong Jersey City resident. I am the chairwoman. I'm a mother, grandmother, wife. I'm the chairwoman of the Jersey City Democratic Committee. I've spent my adult life working in the community, working in constituent services. Didn't have a lot of plans to run for public office, but the position presented itself, the opportunity, so I took it. I am, my family runs a nonprofit here in Jersey City, Spectrum Healthcare. We've been in the community over 40 years, helping people with substance use treatment services. I spent the first year and a half in the assembly learning about state government and how things work down there.
Okay, that's time.
Okay, looking forward to this evening.
Okay, that's time. So I just want to I want to give you guys some comfort that if we're saying time, that essentially we'll ask another question, and I promise you, you'll get a chance to speak to that. All right, Commissioner.
Good evening, everybody. Jerry, good evening. Thanks to the Cunningham Library from hosting this. It's fitting that it's here. My name is Jerry Walker, lifelong resident of Jersey City. I've been doing social service the last 30 years. Social service been in my family for the last 80 years. My grandfather's name was James Pop Curry. I would like to think he was a little bit better than me. He managed to help the neighborhood having 16 kids of his own. So yeah, my poor grandmother, forget about it. But I'm just here. One of the things I want you guys to know about me is I'm going to be hitting the ground running once I get down to the State House. I don't want to just be a person with a title. I want to be a person that's going to pass legislation. I want to be somebody like my mentor, Sandy Cunningham, to get things done, like ban the box, bring it back to school tax. 10 seconds, okay, well. And I'm also was a student athlete, and I went to Seton Hall University, went to St. Annie's High School, played on the '89 team national championship. Thank you. Jesus, 1 minute is tough.
I'm not
Oh,
sure.
man.
Are we going to talk about about basketball and sports? Probably not, right?
No, you just got to figure a way to put that in there.
Figure out how
That's
to
part of my life.
All right, so opening question.
That's it,
Opening
that's it,
question.
that's right.
To start us off tonight, if re-elected or elected to the New Jersey General Assembly, what are your top 3 priorities for District 31? And I want to add a caveat to that. So what are your top 3 priorities, and what specific actions have you taken or will you take that pushes you in that realm? And why are these issues important to our District 31? I'll start with you, Councilman. Commissioner.
Me? Okay.
Yes.
Me? Okay, 1 minute on this too? Okay. Well, so the question is.
What are your top 3 priorities
Okay.
if elected?
Okay, the top 3 well, I stand on my record. My top priority is academics. I have a nonprofit called Teen Walker. That's our #1 priority. I believe that, like the gentleman said earlier, I believe that if people is well educated, they can make better decisions. They could provide for their families. They could get the quality jobs that they need to provide for their families. And I also believe in affordability. So we got a lot of deep conversations with that. I also believe in public safety, which I'm on a committee right now at the commissioner board, and I believe in community policing. One of my mentors also was Glenn Cunningham. He used to have a police station right on Pacific Avenue, and we used to go in there, and it was a different scenario then. We used to go in there, talk to the cops. We would give them information. He had the ability to stop crime from happening, and he was somebody that I really admired. Somebody that I'm living through his legacy. So let's wrap it up. Good. Okay.
Good.
Let's wrap it up.
That was
Let's wrap
good.
it up.
That was good.
Let's wrap it up. 1 minute.
All right, Assemblywoman.
That's hard.
So my top 3 priorities would be school funding. I believe in Jersey City, we have been being cheated because of the formula. Jersey City is considered an expensive place to live, and we're losing out, and our kids are losing out. So what I plan to do is, I already said I will not vote on the budget this year if school funding is not reinstated for Jersey City. My second priority would be transportation. I sit on the transportation committee, and I've been meeting with people in the community about safe streets, Vision Zero. So that's kind of one of my priorities. And then housing. Trenton is trying to work with affordable housing. I don't have the plan, but I just really want to see more affordable housing and what we can actually do from Trenton
Okay.
versus
Thank
what we can
you.
do locally.
Thank you. Assemblyman?
Right, so I have 3 gun safety bills to protect our communities that's already been implemented, about to become law. Education in Jersey City deserves its fair share. What do I mean by that? I have a payroll tax bill that's going to help Jersey City and the loss in the school funding that they have. So that's implemented right now. We need to get that passed, right? And how that's gonna look is not gonna affect the taxpayers, and it's not gonna affect your local businesses. We'll also need to make sure that we push back on Trump. To my seniors in here, we need to keep your Medicaid. We need to keep that Social Security. We need to make sure that you have leaders that were willing to fight and stand up against the injustices that we have. The immigration and people getting locked up, and they're doing it illegally. We're gonna speak out against it, we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna fight back. So education, cleaner streets, gun safety, making sure that our seniors and the life that you laid out for me to represent you, that it doesn't go in vain, and you have somebody that'll stick up for you and represent you.
Councilwoman?
So I like knowing and I like hearing that we're all on the same page, because at least I know whoever it is that makes it there for us, we're fighting for the same thing. I do trust in estate planning for the handicapped and disabled in my professional life. I've been an advocate my entire life. It is what I do. It's the only thing I know. I too see an absolute need. We have to ensure our Medicaid and our Medicare programs stay funded. We have to allocate the funds that we need here to make sure that your everyday health needs are intact, that is not jeopardized. We need to make certain that our education funding and an appropriate allocation that meets the needs of our citizens, Jersey City, Bayonne, and Kearney. We get an appropriate allocation that will meet our needs. We are growing each and every day. Unfortunately, our budgeting has not kept up with our growth. We need to fight for that. We need to make sure our special education programs and the programs that serve our underserved communities, both after school, before school, and lunch and meal funding are all in place. Sometimes that is the most nutritional meal our kids get. Our housing needs, of course, they need to become more affordable, and we need to...
Time. We're going to talk about housing. We're going to talk about housing right now, if it's okay. So I would love to start with this housing question, posing it to Councilwoman. And as elected, everyone at the table is an elected official currently. So as current office holders, what specific actions have you taken to make housing more affordable for residents in your area of influence, and what vision do you have for those affordable housing protocols or reforms for District 31?
So as a council person, my my efforts with regard to housing are, number one, to make the housing that we do have safer. It needs to be upgraded. It needs improvements, right? It needs to be, you need to come home and want to be there. For those residents of ours that live in our housing complexes or perhaps our affordable housing, well, it needs to be affordable and it needs to be safe. You need to know that you're living in a home that is both safe and enjoyable. Number one. Number two, we need to see how we can increase those programs so that we have additional opportunities. You know, the median income in Jersey City right now, in the greater Jersey City area, is $100,000. That's the median income. Well, what about those that aren't meeting the median income? Right? We're not taking that into consideration at a higher level, and that's something that we need to do. So there's a lot of programming and studies that need to go on, but it needs to happen.
Thank you so much. I just want to just restate the question, because I'm interested in what has been done as elected officials, right? What you have done so far to support affordable housing of all sorts, not just low-income housing, right? And not just moderate-income housing, affordable housing for your constituents. So I will give the opportunity to our Assemblyman, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Mr.
It's
Sampson.
okay. It's,
Yep.
it's a lot going on. Real
Yeah.
quick. I'm
Yeah.
going to do the elevator pitch because we're on the pitch clock. So what we've done, and I have the opportunity to be able to do, is I voted for the anchor. That is to put money back in your pockets for not only renters but homeowners, right? We already know that the cost and how expensive New Jersey is. So I voted to put the money back in your pockets, right? But we need to also increase the limits on renters for rental assistance. That is also coming as well, right? Because we know there's a housing shortage. And we need to build more homes. We need to build more homes. And I love what Newark did, where they allow the Section 8 people that have that voucher to be able to buy and own that home, so now you're a homeowner. Instead of you renting your whole life, now you have some money and you can go ahead and if you want to sell and have more money in your pocket, or you can just live there. But what I've done is I have voted for PAD. Okay, I have voted for Anchor. I have voted for the freeze, stay in J. All of that to go back in your pocket.
Next, Assemblywoman, please.
I voted for the same things he did. So. He got to second.
Good answer.
Just one of the other things, and it doesn't go under affordable housing, but I sponsored a bill, and I think Assemblyman Sampson co-sponsored with me, and it was passed to allow people that are homeowners, if they are going into foreclosure, that they can get the equity out of their property before it goes before a sheriff's sale. So I think that was really important. And we did get it passed, and it will become law, and I think that's something that right now is just really important for people. Right?
Excellent, excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Commissioner.
Session. Yeah, so the last 7 years I've been on the county commissioner board. We managed to balance the budget without hiking up taxes. That's is a trickle-down effect. When you have taxes, it goes towards your bottom line when you increase taxes. But I also was changing the narrative on saying affordable. Affordable is not affordable anymore. We got to start talking about low to moderate income, because it's not too many people. And I think when I did the research, I think it was 68,000. The average salary in Jersey City, and I could tell you most of the people in my community don't make $68,000. If they have $50,000, that's a good job. So I started to change the narrative for that. I also was strong advocate for the freeze for the scenes. I sent numerous letters to the legislation as well as the governor's office to get that program going. And a lot of scenes and result of it it take a while, guys. It take a while, but you hang in there, you'll get some results. So that's what I've been doing in terms of trying to stabilize affordability in our town.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so this question is around transportation. And I know Assemblywoman Stamato referenced it, so I'll start with you. I'll ask a question. The Turnpike just received approval from the Coast Guard to move forward with phase 1 of the I-78 Turnpike expansion. They are not just repairing the bridge, they are doubling the size with 2 new bridges. What is your position on the idea of funneling more trucks and cars into Jersey City and Bayonne? And do you think the current investment in mass transit is Do you think that the current investment in mass transit in New Jersey is adequate?
So, first of all, we represent, 31st Legislative District represents Bayonne, Kearney, and Jersey City. Bayonne residents want the expansion of the bridge. So I am for the expansion of the bridge from 14 to 14A. What I would like to see is like a shoot-off that would take the trucks directly to the ports. That's the biggest problem that I hear is the trucks. If we could somehow get the trucks to go directly to the ports, I don't see the trucks going down to the tunnel, but having said that, I'd like to see it stop from 14 to 14A, and then I don't see a reason to expand the lanes going into the tunnel. The tunnel is 2 lanes to begin with. So I think that there is a way to support what the people of Bayonne and their quality of life, and I take it myself. I know the problems there.
Okay.
So I think that's.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. So I want to reiterate, there are 2 questions, right? So what is your position on the idea of funneling more trucks and cars into Jersey City and Bayonne? And do you think the current investment in mass transit in New Jersey is adequate? I'll go to Assemblyman.
Okay, so as far as the extension, I support the extension. I want to make that very clear. And as far as it being union jobs and union labor, I support that as well. Some people, that bridge project will probably be about 15, 20 years, and some people will reach their retirement. That's number one. Number two, to Barbara, the Assemblywoman's point, most of the traffic is due to the container terminal, which I work at, right? Container vessels are becoming larger. CMA is the now owner. They're the stevedore, so that means they're the number 3 largest shipping line in the world. They want to do what? They want to make more money. So they're going to have larger vessels. With those larger vessels, that means trucks. We are hand in hand with the Teamsters. The trucks are going to be on the road. When the trucks are on the road, that's how all the traffic comes. So what they also want to do is have an exit that goes exactly to the terminal and it goes out of the terminal. So we have to be able to do that because we can alleviate some of the traffic and alleviate some of the congestion for people to get to work and things like that. But we have to do more in mass transit and put more into New Jersey transit.
All right, good. We'll go with you, Councilwoman.
Certainly. So I agree 100% that the current flow of traffic is insufficient, but it is a quality of life issue for those residents that live in Bayonne. I do think we need to have that roadway bifurcated so that the traffic going to the global terminal and the container port is separated so that the residents are not traveling to and from with truck traffic. It's not safe, and it's just an extreme amount of vehicles. I also do support, as I said, the extension project up to Bayonne. I understand that Jersey City residents are not necessarily as in favor of it. I do think we need to do the environmental impact study so that we can see what effect it would have. I do think we need additional funding towards our mass transit. I'm 100% in favor of the ferry terminal coming to Bayonne and work to push that forward as well.
Commissioner?
Yeah, I do agree with my colleagues, but I do understand from the Jersey City perspective in terms of the traffic and because like right around was it 14? Is it B? Yeah, B. So it is a little bit of traffic there, a lot of traffic, but like Barbara was saying, we do represent Bayonne, Kearney, and Jersey City. But I do understand the residents of Jersey City and their concerns. I met with some of the bike folks in reference to that, and I'm still trying to make a decision on that, to be honest, to try to figure out what's the best solution. I think as a major study should go into place so everybody could kind of like be happy because it's a hot topic, and I understand the residents of Bayonne. They also feel like it'll be an economic boom for Bayonne. So and like she said, we represent 3 cities, so I do want to gather some more information and make a determination on where I'm supporting in the near future.
Some critics believe that you could do one or the other, expand the bridge or invest in mass transit. Where do you stand on in terms of investing funds in mass transit instead? So where do you stand on investing funds in mass transit instead? I'll start with you, Assemblyman.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, just dig a little deeper on that question because
Yeah.
it was a little confusing.
Thank you
Go
for
ahead.
that.
Yeah, all right.
So,
Yeah.
thank
Go
you
ahead.
for that.
Put it in layman terms. we in a forum. Go ahead.
No. So critics say that you could do one or the other.
Right.
Right. Mass transit, invest in mass transit, or expand the bridge expansion.
Well, critics are going to say what critics say, but at the same time, we can do both, right? And I believe in not tying down to one, right? We can build, first of all, we as leaders, we cannot wait for catastrophe to happen and then want to do something, right? That bridge cannot, I don't want to scare anybody, but it's not going to be able to hold in the future. We have to have we have to build on that bridge. We have to make it better, right? And we have to expand. And we're going to alleviate traffic. Now, as far as mass transit, we know New Jersey Transit has an issue. We need to adopt legislation, have that legislation with one bill where we have to allocate the funds to New Jersey Transit. But New Jersey Transit also has to upgrade their procedures, having some type of apps, making sure that these bus routes and trains are on time for the consumers, right? We have to make sure that we're investing in everything, in every aspect, to make sure that life for commuters are much better.
Councilwoman?
I don't disagree at all. I do think we have to put funds into both efforts. The key to success, they tell you, is accessibility. We live in one of the most accessible locations on the East Coast, and yet we have the most difficult commute. I know, I do it every day, 35 years, July 7th, in case you're wondering. Nevertheless, I do think we need to widen the roadway. Again, it is a quality of life issue. That bridge, again, in total disrepair. If you ever take a look up as you're driving underneath, never mind, don't take a look up. Nevertheless, we need to increase our funding for mass transit, as Assemblyman Sampson said. However, New Jersey Transit needs an entire overhaul. They need to learn to do it better, to give us more, and stop taking. They need to start giving back.
Commissioner?
Yes, I do agree with my colleagues with mass transit, but mass transit is something that is lacking, and particularly in Jersey City. We used to have so many different bus services. We would take the local bus all the way downtown. We had all sorts of things, and when I met with New Jersey Transit on this very issue, and I asked them, what was the problem? And they blamed it on ridership. It's not enough people. Well, y'all need to do an overhaul, like you said. From the census, it's 50,000 new residents in Jersey City, so I got to add that. So you got to take that in consideration. I know the light rail is doing wonderful. I think we got to expand them services as well. And the PATH train, I had Kevin O'Toole come to my building. He's the chairman of the Port Authority, which he's a Seton Hall guy. But anyway, I had him come to the building and talked about how we can improve upon the PATH station and increase the PATH station because we have a lot of residents in the downtown area that take the PATH that commutes. So okay, time is up. All right. Time's up.
If we don't expand, am I on here? If we don't expand the tunnel bridge and the tunnel area, then the money that we have there we could use for the mass transit. If we just do the bridge for Bayonne and leave Jersey City alone, because the people in Jersey City do not want the expansion. They don't want it, so why do we even have to do it? That's my feeling. So the money that they have for that, we could put to New Jersey Transit and mass transit, which is really needed.
So, wait, just so that you're clear, you're saying that you could do both, not do the extension all the way through to Jersey City?
Don't do the extension from 14B to the tunnel. It's not needed. That's and the people in Jersey City don't want it.
Right. Okay. That's clear. That's clear. Okay, so let's talk about library protection and freedom of speech. So Governor Murphy recently signed the Freedom to Read Act, protecting access to books and libraries and shielding librarians from lawsuits over materials deemed objectionable. Some gubernatorial candidates have publicly stated that they would repeal the law if elected in 2025, raising concerns about censorship, politicization of education, and free expression. If reelected or elected to the Assembly, how would you respond to efforts to roll back the Freedom to Read Act under a new administration? And what principles will guide your position on this issue? How would you balance parental concerns and educational freedom and the constitutional right to access of information? And we're going to start with, Councilwoman. Yes, Councilwoman, starting with you.
Thank you. I was just looking at you. I had that vibe. So, nevertheless, I would not repeal it. I absolutely would not. I am 100% in favor of that. My daughter had to read a book every summer before summer reading was in play, and then we did something in relation to whatever she read. I think there's not just Black history. There's not just Asian history. First of all, Black history is my history. Asian history is my history. World War II happened for everyone, right? Our kids need to know that. They need to see how we all fought to get back here and where we were. We cannot limit their ability to read. If you limit their ability to read and learn and grow, they will not be knowledgeable. And we will be living in a very horrendous society. So I am 100% in favor of it. I think we all need to fight to make sure we keep it.
Excellent, thank you. Commissioner?
Yes, my chairman often say that we'll pay for the kids. We don't want to pay for the kids later. We want to pay for them now. So education and the freedom to learn something is critical to me. My number one priority is education. We understand education is a remedy to break all poverty levels and to make better decisions and just So, and me being an African American man, I don't want to take no freedoms away. Because it's what's going on down in Washington right now with all the nonsense that's going on, all the rhetoric is coming out of there. We have to stand strong. We have to stand strong as a community. Yeah. This ain't about just us four up here. It's about everybody. Just our freedom and our rights and to advocate and understand what we need in our schools and the freedom of expression and everything else. I mean, this is a free country. That's what it was built on. My backdrop where I live at is down in the Lafayette section. And we had Ellis Island there, and that's a traditional, that's a highly, where all the immigrants came in at, and my neighborhood is a real historic neighborhood, so thank you.
Excellent. Assemblywoman.
I have not heard gubernatorial candidates talk about repealing, and I hope that comes up because I think it's a really important issue. I would never vote against repealing it. And again, as Commissioner Walker said, our freedom, that's what our country's based on. Our children need to understand and read and learn about any topic, any history. There should be no boundaries. That's my personal feeling.
Thank you. Assemblyman.
Yeah, I'm pro free speech and anti-hate speech and listen, what it feels like to me, right? And I just got to be real with you. I got to tell you how I feel it. I'm sorry. It just seems like there's a knock on Black and brown individuals and trying to remove, our history that's in these libraries, in these books about how we're kings and queens and where we come from, and Africa's a rich place. They'll tell you that it's all poor and things like that. But my friends that just went to Africa, they just said, man, they doing better than us, it seems like. So, but the way we can only know things is through our history. The only way that we know about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X is through our history. It's about the people that came before us, the people that came before me. That's why I'm standing here today to represent you, is because of that and the free speech. So I'm all for that, and I don't think anybody here is going to try to appeal that, but that's what we're about. It's about free speech, a free country, and that's what we believe in.
Good. All right, so this portion of the forum is where we got audience questions. We'll ask the questions on paper. It said 30 seconds, but then no, we're not going to do that. We're doing 1 minute still because we want to still hear from the candidates. Good thing you had to pre-write them, so no one can ask a question, Frank. All right. Right. But I think we have really good questions, and I'm really excited about where we're going with this. All right. So anyone can answer once I finish, and then we'll make sure everyone gets the chance to answer, okay? We're not going to call on anyone, all right? All right, so public safety is often framed as a choice between being pro-police and pro-community. But residents in District 31 want both accountability and real safety solutions, especially as gun violence continues to affect our neighborhoods. Where do you stand on advancing meaningful gun reform in New Jersey, and what concrete actions have you taken or will you take to keep residents safe while protecting civil rights?
Anyone?
Okay, so
I'll jump in.
Okay. You going, Jay?
Yeah, I go. Hey, I was going. Just turn me
You
up.
sure?
Turn the mic
You
up.
ready? All right.
Turn it up. I'm ready.
Okay.
All right. So, gun violence. So, gun violence is something that hit home with me. About 25 years ago, my cousin Barbara Wilson and my little cousin Bianca got brutally the nanny got brutally murdered. So, gun violence is something that's close to my heart. Public safety is also something that was close to my heart. One of the things that I did on the county level, we started the first academy to teach for the test. Because I believe community policing is getting folks from your neighborhood, the community, the police their own neighborhoods, because that's the person that have the relationships. That's the person that could solve problems that are conflict coming about, and that's what I believe, and that's what Glenn Cunningham did in the Lafayette section. And I always talk about Glenn, but it's the truth. So with gun violence, we definitely got to pass some more laws. I know the federal government is passed down a couple of legislation where people can carry and different things like that, but we got to make sure we do the screenings and make sure people don't have mental problems. Make sure people with the gun that have a responsibility. All right, thank you.
So as I stated earlier, I have 3 gun safety bills to protect our community. And your homework is I want you to look those up because those are very important. But on top of that, right, public safety, we need to upgrade our Jersey City 911 dispatch system. We need to have, come on, y'all can clap it up. Yeah. So we need to do those current upgrades, right? That's a part of the public safety. We need to make sure, because Jersey City is so important, it's so big, it's so large, that also affects our surrounding areas with the dispatch, right? So we need to make sure that we're doing the proper things. And what I would do is continue to advocate, put in legislation for Jersey City, and try to get some money to make sure that we upgrade those systems in public safety, right? And I would like to see our streets cleaner, all right? I would like to see our roads out here in the south side of Jersey City much cleaner and having more attention, right? Like not just having our cops on these corners, but making sure that these roads are clean. Then we got DPW coming out and making sure they painting them yellow curbs real nice for our community. I just think that we just got to make sure. I do apologize. I didn't want to go over. Go ahead. Either one.
So
Go ahead.
I think that our gun, we absolutely need to get a better handle on our gun violence and our safety in our communities. Number one, I think it goes back, though. I think there are fundamental issues with an awful lot of things. I think our cops need to be better trained, our civil servants need to be better trained at living within the communities they are policing. You know, you police the streets, not the people. You need to become a part of our community. Our civil servants need to become a friend. You need to be able to run towards them, not away from them. And that is not a feeling that is today. We also need to, the Arrive Alive program, we need to put more funding into our mental health, into the programs that will keep our residents safe. You know, not everybody is middle-class America, right? Grew up in a wonderful environment and doing well. We need to make sure that we can protect every citizen, no matter what their diverse challenges.
Sitting here listening to my colleagues, I think you all understand that we are all in favor. We're on the right side of all of this. And my feeling is in Jersey City, we need more funding. Again, that's our role as legislators, is to bring back the money to the district. I mean, that's clearly what it is. There's not much more that we can do locally other than support our local council people, our commissioners, and obviously Assemblyman Sampson's bill package is wonderful. So I think that that's something that I will definitely get behind, and we'll make sure that we get that passed. That's the most important thing that I believe that we can do for Jersey City and Bayonne and Kearney.
So just so that the councilwoman, you mentioned the mental health is called Arrive Together, just in case someone wants to look it up.
Thank
That was good.
Arrive together. Okay.
Perfect. So my question is about Liberty State Park. What have you done to ensure Liberty State Park remains a public park, free of commercial interference? And what will you do to continue to protect it? Anybody?
I've only been in the Assembly, I'm only my first term, so I was not able to vote on the Liberty State Park Protection Act, but hopefully that will come up again in the next session, and I will 100% support it.
And although I am a part, Liberty State Park is a part of my life. It always has been. And for most everyone here in this room, it's a part of your life. You know, I went on a vacation with my family, and it was a transatlantic cruise. And believe me when I tell you, when you cruise past the front of that statue, you really do feel like you are Christopher Columbus, and it brings a tear to your eye. It was very moving to move past that. And that is our very symbol of freedom. Liberty State Park is a part of that. It needs to remain. I will never be in favor of privatizing that area or that land. That park doesn't belong to the city, to the state, to the county. It belongs to the people, and that's where it should stay.
So, just to take the elephant out of the room, when they were talking about the park and getting the money for the park, and it was like $250 million for the park, me, Senator Brian Stacks, Senator now, Angela McKnight, and myself are on that bill. And the way that bill was presented to us was for our seniors, for a clean park. We wanted baseball fields. We wanted football fields. We wanted more space for our children to have a beautiful park, right? Now, on top of that, we were also talking about a senior building inside of that park. Sam, I know you're gonna like this, but I also sponsored the Liberty State Park Protection Act, right? To keep the park exactly the way it is, to protect that green space, Sam, and you know I did, right? So we just want to make sure that Jersey City and the South Side is represented properly, and they have all the adequate things that they deserve.
Oh,
Yes.
testing.
Yes.
Okay, I want to set the record straight on that. You know, it was this a negative piece come out of me as I'm a sellout for Liberty State Park. That's so far from the truth. I believe in nature. I believe in open space. Although I am an athlete, so I do believe in active recreation. And I was on the task force with Sam. I was every meeting. I stayed to the end, listened to everybody's concerns. I built a consensus, and 85% of people said that we should have more active recreation in a community center, better known as a welcome center. So I'm somebody that I don't want to privatize anything. I don't play golf. None of the above. So I just want people to understand where I stand, and I understand that Sam been fighting a long time for the park to be the same. It was all kinds of stuff coming up, 500, Indy 500. I'm not for none of that stuff. I'm for some active recreation because I know it's a safe haven for the kids in the South Side of Jersey City. If you know anything about Jersey City, you know when you go down there, there's no violence or anything. All right, I'm gonna stop right there. I'm trying to keep the discipline. I'm gonna try to keep the discipline. Yeah.
Well, I just want to, on behalf of all of the sponsors and from our community at large, I just want to thank you all for coming out and sharing your visions for Legislative District 31 with us. It was a delight to hear your positions, and we're about to close up. So I wanted just to give everybody an opportunity to have a closing statement. We're going to give you 90 seconds this time. Yeah, 90 seconds this time. And just to leave the last bit of impression on our community. Just let us know what it is you would like us to take away from this gathering. And we're going to go down the table, starting with Commissioner.
Okay, good. Thank you. Just real quick. Some of the things that I want to do once I get down to Trenton, obviously I stated that early on, but I want to be somebody that's not just the title, but somebody that gets things done. So I often say on the campaign trail, I have a lot of tentacles that I could get things done. I could bring back resources, and I believe that. Look, I stand on the shoulders of my predecessors, and I want to protect some of the things that they did, and I want to lead by example. Sandy Cunningham, she has some of the most, a lot of legislation that was passed down there, and I want to be like Sandy. I want to go down there to represent the 31st District. I want to uphold some of the things that she did, like the payroll tax. Who's really policing that? That's supposed to create $100 million for our school system. There's nobody really policing that. I think we probably gather something like 70%. So who's going to be policing that? I want to push that sort of stuff. Like ban the box is something that when you was prior to getting in trouble that you had to put on an application whether you was incarcerated or not. So that eliminates you for certain processes. So I want to fight for the normal people. Look, I had a lot of other things that I can be doing with my life right now. I'm in it for the right reason. I often tell people that this is a lot of people offer me a lot of different money to be a coach, whatever. But I'm doing God's work, and I feel like I'm doing what I'm doing, and I feel like I'm gonna make it to heaven from doing this. So that's why I'm an ambassador for the truth. I'm an ambassador for the right thing to do in society, and I just want to pour into society positive and not negative.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you.
The first term, I think the hardest part about the assembly is that it's a 2-year term. So you get down there, you're only in 1 year, and you have to run for re-election. So I think that the first year, I've learned a lot about Trenton and the workings of the inner political workings of Trenton. So going into my second term, hopefully, I'm happy to be an independent. I think that I've learned from the first 2 years that you have to have your own voice. You have to go down there. You have to always remember who you represent. And I do represent the residents of Bayonne, Jersey City, and Kearney. So that's my main focus. I really want to focus on, I'm on the Transportation Committee. I want to focus more on safe streets. I think that that's just really important. New Jersey Transit, the school funding, that's my main priority. Thank you.
One thing I left out, Louis, on the public safety is I have a bill that is to increase security measures on all trains. Because if you notice, if you go on a train and somebody has a book bag, you don't know what's in that book bag. So I left that out about as far as on public safety. But to the voters that are in here and to my constituents, it's been an honor of my life to serve you. It really has brought purpose to my life, to learn about all the inner workings of different things that I never knew about, budgets and making sure different departments have the necessities that they need and that they should have. And even though it's a short term, and even though we don't always want to talk about titles, but it is important to talk about your influence. In a short term, and I did 1 term, and into my second term, I became a chairman. That's because of you and your belief, right? And in that second term, I became a deputy speaker. That's what I am now. What that means is, so I can tell you, that means I'm in leadership. And as I'm in leadership, I get an opportunity to say what I would really, really want for my district, and that something has to happen because I'm a part of that piece of the puzzle and that pie. But and what I'm going to do and what I've always done is serve you. I'm going to listen to your concerns. I'm going to make sure I prioritize those and put those first. And I'm going to make sure that we bring back the real resources that we need. I just want to thank you all for believing in me and giving me the opportunity. I would love 1 more term. And if you allow me that opportunity, it would mean the world to me for my 3rd term. Thank you and God bless.
So I do want to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to speak here today, and thank our moderators. I appreciate it tremendously. I have a lot of viewpoints. As I said, I have been advocating for people my entire life for the last 35 years. What I want you to take away from this today is knowing that, as I said earlier, I am someone who walks the same streets as you, someone who's struggled just as you have, someone who works every single day to close that gap between hunger and hope, who fights for those who fought for us and our veterans, who is working to get our children an education that they need and can be proud of. I want you to know that I fight and I feed our seniors each and every day. I fight for funding and advocate for our handicapped and our disabled and for every person who cannot fight for themselves. When I get to Trenton, I want you to know I will not be there for headlines or handshakes. I'm there for hard work. I've done it already. I fight for mothers choosing between rent and groceries, looking for affordable housing, men and women who served our country and now have nowhere to live and need our help. I fight for the children that need a full belly when they go to bed at night and a bright future after getting their education. I understand and I value our differences. I think that we all have a very unique perspective, and that helps shape who we are. I will take that with me to Trenton and fight and fund the programs that mean the world to us.
All right. So this concludes the forum, but I would like for us to give all of them a round of applause, please. Trust me, it isn't easy. Being on the other side, right? It isn't easy. And we appreciate all of you for your candor and your honesty. I know that 60 seconds isn't a long time. But wait, Ms. Laverne, before you leave, housekeeping. Just want to make sure that on June 10th, everyone says June 10th.
June 10th.
I need you all to come out to the primary. It's great that we're here and we're, conversing with them. But if we don't go on June 10th to vote during the primaries, we're wasting our time.
That's right.
Right? And you can't just go by yourself. You have to bring someone. Listen, study shows that during the primaries in June that we have the lowest voter turnout. Right? So we want to make sure that we galvanize our friends, we galvanize our coworkers, that we get our community connected to the polls so that we can make sure that who we want to be in the office get there. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. So housekeeping. I would like for you all to get a library card. How many of you have a library card? Raise your hand. Oh, this is lit.
Responsible folks, that's right.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
Well, for years.
And if you don't, and I'm telling you, there's so many perks, right? Netflix, subscriptions, and all that good stuff, right? But also, I want you all to take out your phones for me, please. I want you to go to the website, jclibrary.org. So I'm not playing. RARY.org. Miss Laverne, I know you got that other phone. .org. Please subscribe to the page because you'll be able to get you'll be able to know what's happening in the public library sector. Some of you guys complained tonight that you didn't have access to, you didn't know about the event until the last minute. But if you are subscribed to the online portal, all of that information goes out. You'll be well aware. Also, do me a favor, if you have Instagram or Facebook, go to JC Library NJ and that's on Instagram. JC Library NJ, and follow the page. Right? I think. Oh wait, one last thing. I think we're good. Oh, and I just want to thank everyone who sponsored the event. Safer Streets, I Love Greenville, Shane, you're the man, Jersey City Free Public Library, Tyler, all of the media team, we really appreciate you. Thank you for everything, guys. Have a great night.